everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see a three-time Pro Bowler, Derek Carr, leading the Oakland Raiders as they do battle with the reigning MVP of the National Football League, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, Coach, from one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle with the Oakland Raiders. Glad to be with you, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. And Charles, we got a good AFC West matchup. And you look ahead to the division race this year, the gap from top to bottom, that may just be tightening.
It certainly is. And this is one of my favorite divisions to talk about year in and year out in the NFL, because when you go through it, everyone has a good reason to think that they can win the division. The Raiders got better picking up Antonio Brown. Can he help their young quarterback continue to progress and make plays? How about in Denver? They may be hitting the reset button, but they always have players. Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes, by the way, and Phillip Rivers is still firing away for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Bitter rivals going back to their AFL days in the 1960s. The Chiefs and Raiders are underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Derek Carr set and ready to roll as he leads the Raiders out onto the field. Carr in his sixth season, 28 years of age, former second-round pick back in 2014, and a lot of people feel this is a critical season for Derek Carr as a Raider. Remember, there were whispers that the Raiders might be in the market for a QB in the draft. He even contemplated maybe making a run at Kyler Murray, but in the end, they stood pat with Derek Carr, hoping that he's the long-term answer.
Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day, all day.
Now the first-round pick from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
First play of the drive, lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Here's Carr to throw. Out to the right here to Wilson. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. And the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
And there's offensive tackle Trent Brown, signed away from New England in the offseason on a 4-year, $66 million deal to protect his new quarterback in Oakland, Derek Carr. No stranger to the Bay Area. First 3 years in the league, but with San Francisco as a 49er, he can play left or right tackle.
Carr. Now he'll let this one go. Deep left side, trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And now here comes Kansas City. The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Oh, he's able to out-muscle it here as he pulls it in. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help?
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on his first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. They'll run it with Williams. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And a little spin cycle. Room to run now. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Damian Williams, 31 yards. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. And on his way to the end zone, shedding the tackle, he would not be denied.
That's what's called finishing the run. Making sure you power your way through. One-on-one tackle. No running back wants to go to the bench and say, I got stopped just short.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. A drive there of just 4 plays. And in the end, it was all capped off by the Damian Williams touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. This is Jalen Richard, the 4th-year man from Southern Miss. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5 up to the 25-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Card out a throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
This one across the 35. Brown, his first catch. It's a 1st down. First 9 seasons in the league for Brown were, of course, in Pittsburgh. Last year, though, growing concerns of his dissatisfaction in his role with the Steelers and the quibbles with Ben Roethlisberger. So he ends up being traded to the Raiders in March. 7-time Pro Bowler, 6 straight years of at least 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns. Not a bad stretch. What a talent for Derek Carr to have on his side. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. He can't get him down. The dump off, good for 8 there on 1st down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
That one caught. It's the rookie Hunter Renfrow. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 40.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory, right at the 40. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And let's take a look at the defensive starters for Kansas City.
Tyrann Mathieu has a cornerback's build with safety skills. The Honey Badger knows where the football is.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, D.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. After 7-0 on EA Sports. The Raiders with the football here to begin quarter number 2. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here.
Right now. 180. 3, Mike. Go. Go.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So on 4th down, here's Johnny Townsend to punt it. Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Yeah, wrist, man. Check the wrist, man. Got him.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 from back at their own 10-yard line. To throw, it's Mahomes. He's going to look deep for Watkins. They've got his man complete. The 20, 10, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Sammy Watkins, an even 90 yards. And the Chiefs strike quickly here for 6 points. And I think it's safe to say we won't call many touchdown passes longer than that this year, partner.
No, I would agree with that totally. And right now, you're looking at an offensive coordinator. Conservative would not go next to his name. Risk taker, definitely, because he valued the opportunity to create a big play against what could have been disaster if they end up getting sacked or fumbling the ball in the shadow of their own goal line.
Butker on for the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. That's good for 28 yards.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
On 2nd and 12, Carr. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The sack comes from Anthony Hitchens.
Someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Carr. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Anthony Hitchens picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because it had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
The ball gets bumped up. It's now 2nd and 4 after the penalty. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. Now that's a guy, Carlos Hyde, who split time last year in Cleveland and Jacksonville after 4 seasons in San Fran. He was just under 1,000 yards his last 2 seasons with the Niners, but never really got into a groove last season. And then the Chiefs signed him to a 1-year deal back on March 9th. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Only a yard on the sneak, not what he was hoping for, and it's 3rd down. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, I have a note card here that says ad-lib halftime preview. So I guess let's do just that as we'll hand things over to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando when this one reaches halftime. Did I do okay?
You did great. Not a bad job.
Hey.
Writing down your ad.
If you print, I'm going to read it. I'm Brandon Gaudin.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
First down, a run with Hyde. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Carlos Hyde, see you later. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Carlos Hyde, 37 yards. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Butker now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it was capped off by a Carlos Hyde touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And now Derek Carr. He is the focus of our player spotlight. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. And the Chiefs are going to get him. The sack by Dorian O'Daniel, the linebacker from Clemson.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
breaking up at a 3rd and long.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Baby, that's big shot.
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. Here now, Johnny Townsend, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Watch out for him on the return. And now off to the races, down the right side. And how about this? He takes it all the way back. No time, no flags, a punt return touchdown and a stunning end of the first half.
And they kicked it to him.
Point after, right down the middle. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one, maybe not the hard-fought battle many had hoped for. This has been blowout city thus far, but still more football to be played. Who knows what could happen? As we send you right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might. And that's caught inside the 35. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Neil Sterling, 78 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. And that was just a fly route. There was no stop. He just went.
Yeah, and it was beautiful to watch because you have to set it up as you go along. Everyone knows he's fast, so you play him for that. That's the number one thing you want to take away. But as you go through a game, sometimes you vary the speed in which you come off the line of scrimmage and maybe start a little bit slower, get him to stop his feet a little bit as a defensive back, and then explode and go, as we saw there.
Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, a long touchdown pass into the end zone. After the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. For these Raiders and quarterback Derek Carr, the Chiefs, they have been their kryptonite in the AFC West. With Derek Carr as a starter, just 2-8 against KC, 2-6 before Mahomes became the starter. Well, the road not likely to get any easier anytime soon.
gain of 16 yards. First down, Raiders.
Down! 185!
44.
Yeah.
Carr now on first down. And his throw is incomplete. Tyrell Williams was the intended target, but it'll be second down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carr throwing the out route incomplete. That's Brown. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Came up a little short on the last pass play. They did get 9 yards out of it, leaving him with his 3rd and 1. It's complete to Brown, right side. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
They dialed up the blitz on 3rd down, and your worry as a defense that they can hit you with a big play in that situation. Instead, the blitz pays off, able to rally to the football and make the play.
Here now, Johnny Townsend. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And the Chiefs now getting set to go. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time.
That's
what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 20. From the gun, it's Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. He's got a man complete. A gain of 32 that time.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for them.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
On 2nd and 11 now, Mahomes. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Sammy Watkins, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Butker on for the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So the drive there, they went 80 yards in 3 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A loss of 2 there, second down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Carr gives to Richard. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw is Carr. They're able to locate Wilson. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. Look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Carr gonna throw. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Darren Lee came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Carr. Over the middle here to Brown. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Going to try and throw on 3rd down. Yeah, that one going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, there defensively to make the play. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Daniel Carlson set for the Raider field goal. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. Now Glennon. And it's complete. They're going to get the first. And they're able to pick up the first and keep possession. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. It would have been a long kick. It was prime fake field goal territory. They faked it. They got it.
So much for defense in this situation because the natural play there is you go into what we call safe. Meaning, you don't really rush on that one. You almost concede. If they want to kick a long one like that and make it, so be it. You just don't give up the fake. Yet, they did anyway. Poor execution on the defensive side.
I'm here all day. 44's the mic.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. What a game this defense continues to play, huh?
Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you've got to match that aggressiveness. No points so far in this game. Moving the football, got to be that way to go against them and try and get some points on the board.
And I'm curious on the defensive side if they stay aggressive because you know they want to pitch this shutout.
Yeah, they have to be aggressive, but they also have to be smart about it as well because one mistake can turn into 6 points.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Now Carr. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Carr now on 3rd and goal. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Ryan Grant there to make the grab. And the Raiders are able to eat just a bit into this sizable deficit. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Extra point by Carlson, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. A 10-play drive that time, and it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. And the Chiefs are going to make the recovery. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Give him 14 on that one and a 1st down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and look like turtle at this point. You just go ahead and play.
Check. Watch 54.
They go play action. Now Mahomes letting one go deep for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with him.
Mahomes complete to his tight end. It's Kelsey. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal.
Big series right here. So we got to step it up.
Mahomes now to throw. And that's caught. It's Kelsey. Touchdown, Kansas City. 4 yards on the touchdown grab as his guys continue to pour it on. And there was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Butker now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. 5 plays there on that drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. after the touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Hey, we're good. Blue 80.
Here's Carr. He'll find his running back here, Richard. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
44, Mike, 44.
On first down, Carr. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. Here's Carr to throw. That's complete to Richard, the running back. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. On 3rd and long, it's Carr. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. And now here comes Kansas City. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And now on is the field goal unit. And boy, this is speculative at best, crazy at... Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he's going to let it go deep. And this one will not work out. It is incomplete. So now on comes the field goal unit. And this will be a, shall we say, a rather optimistic try here. And they're going to fake it. He wants to throw it here. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down. This would be one heck of a record if he makes this. And supreme confidence in the kicker turns to supreme failure, as that is obviously no good. And this score will stay right where it is. I I got nothing after that try.
Yeah, don't even try.
I mean, he tried it from the parking lot. So now, just like that, things change dramatically. It's 1st and goal.
We own them.
Carr. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal. To throw again on 2nd down. Carr. And he's got it. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. Well, they've gotten it down to the 3, but now this is 3rd and goal. To throw, it's Carr. And this is going to be incomplete. I think here the score dictates you pretty much got to go for it.
But when you look at the scoreboard and you realize that 3 doesn't do you a whole lot of good in this situation, you're exactly right. Dial up one of your better plays and get after it. Forget the field goal kicker. He doesn't matter.
Carr going to go on 4th down. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the ball's going to be going back to the Chiefs. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And going deep for Hill. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Mahomes finding Hill for a big play. 53 yards. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Chiefs victorious here as we say so long from Arrowhead.